guys, so today I'm back with another video. So, how to be productive at medical appointments. Now, this can be very, very difficult because, let's be real, if you're like me, doctors tend to waste your time sometimes, depending on who they are and where you're going and why and when it's for. And for me, I've had very many doctors who didn't help me at all and kind of made either situation worse or just didn't do anything. And that in turn made it worse. So I want to share how to be productive at medical appointments so that you guys can hopefully be productive, get help, and do what needs to be done for your self-care and be an advocate for yourself. So I'm going to share my tips and things that I like to do and things that just really help keep me organized and on track with what I'm doing. Because I know that for blood work, normal primary appointments, which is like normal doctor appointments, or what like people like me with like a syndrome, we have panel appointments which are different. Because that means you meet with like a lot of doctors, and then you have your GI specialist, your GI team, who manages like your weight, your nutrition, and your dietary stuff or whatever, and all your stomach issues, and your antibiotics for that stuff, and it's actually surprisingly a lot of stuff. So for me, I have over 10 doctors for my panel. And so, yeah, there's more stuff. And then my primary doctor, and then I now have a thyroid specialist or two. And then I have blood work every couple weeks to a couple months. And then we do blood tests for stuff that's needed. And then there's been x-rays recently, but I don't usually get those too often. When I was younger, I used to do a lot of CT scans and MRIs and stuff like that, but not anymore. It's just not a necessity, and I also don't go into the hospital as much as I used to. But still have a lot of medical appointments, and this year I've had the most medical appointments that I've ever had, probably, since I've been like young. So it's probably the most I've had in high school. So, yeah, I'm just gonna share my tips on how to be productive with your medical appointments, because I know how frustrating it is to go to a medical appointment, nothing gets done, or you don't have a plan set, or you have to go back multiple times because the doctors aren't doing what they are supposed to. So, yeah, just want to help you be the best advocate that you can for yourself, and let's get started. So, first things first. You definitely want to stay organized at all times, no matter what it is, because make a list. So you're going to have a list of medications, you're going to have a list of your antibiotics, you're going to have a list of your of things you need to get done or things that you have done recently. Just to make sure that your doctors have it all in their records, because for me, I know that my doctors are kind of everywhere. So I have some doctors that are really far away, which are a couple hours, and then some here in my town. But each place has a different, like record keeping area, so it's very hard to make sure everybody has the same things and make sure that everybody is on track for what they need to have and what you need to have. And just to make sure you don't mix our medications that need to be mixed and stuff like that. So, just staying organized, so keep on top of your list. So your list will be like your medications, which I said. It'll be any concerns or questions that you have. It will be anything you're thinking of like talking to your doctor about. So like if you've seen something online, you're like, oh, that's really cool, I wonder if that could work for me. If you have seen somebody else with it and they're doing something and you want to try that, bring it up to your doctor, because those are seriously some of the best things that I've done, and it's helped me completely. So yeah, and then make a list for talking over your plans. So if you're like me, you have a game plan, and then I know a lot of people who they have plans with their doctors in place that they have specifically like drawn out. Like if you have a surgery in a couple months, you plan out your appointments that you're gonna have. You have all your normal visits, your visits that are going to be mandatory, your visits that can be moved, your visits that can't be moved, stuff like that. So it's actually a lot of work. So staying organized, making lists of questions, medical concerns, stuff that you think might be helpful to you or your future. Making a plan, have a game plan and a goal. I would say a long-term goal and a short-term goal for your each appointment. So I have a long-term goal to just meet for every appointment you have, future-wise, whether it be for the few months or a few years, whatever works for you. And however often things change for you. So, yeah, and then a new plan going forward, which are like short-term goals. For each appointment, have short-term goals or things that you want to see done. And yeah, it's a lot. So mark any changes that may happen to your plan or your list, adding new medications or new things, or doing x-rays, tests, blood panels, anything that's new and occurring to you. You want to add those to your list as well. Most importantly, you want to have all your medical supply names written down, because seriously, so helpful. Because I know that insurances, especially with us medical kids in a lot of different states and a lot of different areas, it's so difficult to get a lot of things done and dealt with. So it helps to have a list of all your medical supplies written down and what size you use for certain things, what things work best for you, what things didn't work for you, and just making sure that you're an advocate for yourself. And then, yeah, so make sure all your medications are put into every system that you have, because you never know when that's going to become a very important thing, because all your doctors need to know that. Because you're having a surgery or any medical visit, period, and you're feeling sick or something, say you're nauseous, and you're on like 3 antibiotics or pills or something, and they can't be mixed with a new one coming in. You want to make sure your doctor has that so that they know and they can figure out a plan for you, and that is a big game plan that you can have. So for me, that's just some of the stuff that I like to do. Making lists are like so helpful, whether that be on your phone or whether that be on paper. Either way is pretty easy and accessible, like, to get to. And then make sure all your doctors or your team or your panel know like exactly everything that's going on, and make sure all the doctors know, not just 1 or 2 or 3. I know for me, I believe like at least 10, so I have to make sure everybody knows it. And usually what happens for my appointments, they usually last anywhere from 2 hours to 6 hours, depending on what they were for. So they mainly last 2 hours, but that's also counting 2 hours driving up there and then 2 hours back as well. So it ends up being like a 6-hour trip altogether, plus getting food and stopping and making sure all our medical stuff is prepped and ready and all that. So it's a day's work. So yeah, and then anything new that occurs, like major pain in one area, headaches, these are just examples. So like anything that occurs new, like a symptom or something that I don't know, if you have like an illness or something, or just in general, if a new symptom or occurring thing that's happening, you want to make sure to tell your doctor, because you never know if it could be useful. I know for me, having Goldenhar, we don't know much about it, so it's good to talk to other Goldenhar people or people who know what you're going through with whatever you may have. And so for me, I like to make sure that I'm in contact with like one of my really sweet friends, and we just talk back and forth about what we're going through medically, and it tends to help us. And it works really well because we can communicate with our doctors side by side, kind of, and be able to share information that one doctor may not have but the other may have. and kind of see, is this something between all Goldenhar people or just certain cases, because every case is different. We really don't know much. So yeah, we just try to give as much information as we possibly can, and in knowing what happens with it. And so you just want to add anything that could be useful. So yeah, make sure to fully advocate for yourself. I can't stress that enough or say that enough at all. It's so important to be your own advocate and see what you need, whether switching a medication or saying no to a medical operation you think that will be handled well with your doctors. Make sure to know your body and listen to it. It's super important you listen to your body and state what you need from your doctors. Bring a medical bag also. And there's a hint to the next video. Anyway, yeah. So there's that. Also bring a phone charger, because your list is on your phone. You're definitely gonna need your phone charger. And then also water, because you're gonna be talking a lot usually with doctors. I know for me. So voicing everything you have to say can be exhausting, but it's extremely important to get everything you need to say out with your doctors and really stress everything that you have to say and communicate. So yeah, I learned all this stuff through my medical visits and having to learn to advocate for myself, but also tell my doctors what I need and what has to be done, and also knowing when to demand and when not to demand. And that's a big thing, because not all doctors have the best intentions for you. So just, you're a patient, so make sure to communicate the best way that you can, and yeah, make sure you listen, and also if they are listening to you. So and then also make sure that the conversations are to a minimum, because you want to make sure that there's certain conversations that you can have. So like, there's good conversations which are just normal interacting with each other, but you also want to make sure that the medical stuff is the most important. And I know for me and a lot of my medical appointments, sometimes we go off track and forget the actual questions and just go into stories and talking to one another, and that can be really difficult because you just lost your time with your physician or somebody that you were meeting with. Like, you really need to talk to them about this one specific issue, and it wasn't brought up because you were too focused on something else. Now, it's good to have a connection, but make sure that when you are connecting with them, you also are getting everything, like your point across to them and saying everything you need to say, because it's very, very important. And it's important to be honest and open with all of your doctors, and make sure you have a really, really good system and support system, like going with you into it and having somebody help you help your advocate if you need that. And yeah, just make sure. I know for me, I've switched doctors, I've switched hospitals, I've switched clinics, switched all that fun, interesting stuff, doctor's offices, stuff like that. And it's just no matter what works for you, and just being your own advocate and staying organized, make a list, saying anything that needs to be said, communicate well, have a good relationship with all your doctors, because that's seriously so important. And also to make sure you have a good bond between you and your doctor, and have light conversations about life stuff, but also really getting to all your medical stuff that needs to be said, and looking at your list and updating your plan and everything that needs to be done with that. And then yeah, so that's all for today. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed. Also, if you see me looking at my phone, which is pretty obvious, the reason I'm doing that is because I had everything kind of keeping me on track as I was talking, to help state all the points and recap everything that was being said. So I hope that this video helps you guys, and you have a good day. Bye!